You're welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. It is still iBrand Daybreak, and we're shifting this conversation to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. And despite the dramatic shift in the world's economic center of gravity from the developed to the developing world in the past 3 decades, few corporations from emerging markets have succeeded in creating brands in the diaspora. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Being a female entrepreneur in some ways is even more difficult. And of course, joining us to have this conversation today is from the UK is Afi Robin, and she is the CEO of Fotbed Limited. Good morning, Afi. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me on your program.
All right, you're welcome. Let's take it this way. You are in the fashion industry. And of course, you have built this over time, doing so well for yourself, I must say, by the way. But I'd like to get to know what it takes, or rather, what did it take from you to build a fashion business, especially in the diaspora?
Well, building a fashion business here in London, UK, it hasn't been as smooth sailing as I thought. First, what I had to consider in terms of the diaspora, it's in terms of my careful planning. I had to do a lot of planning because I have a second job, a main job actually. So I considered, I did a lot of market research, and in the past, I had done some selling because I lived in Nigeria for some time. So I'd done some selling in Nigeria in terms of women clothing and other fashion brands. So with that sort of entrepreneurial mindset, I decided to say, okay, I conducted market research to see the sort of target audience that I like to set up with. I thought about, one thing I found was that in the plus size industry, they don't really have enough for our kind of body shape. So I analyzed people's fashion preferences, the cultural influences that, pertain to the different fashion. I thought about people's buying behavior, and then I thought about, what are the gaps in the market, and what will be my USP in terms of my unique selling proposition for my fashion business. So I just, considering all of that, I went about, making my business plan. I developed one because my husband, I thought, maybe he would financially contribute towards it. So he always wants me to do like a business plan. So I did my business plan. I outlined my goals, my target market. I thought about my marketing strategies, my financial projections. I basically did the plan. I also thought about, where I'll be sourcing my goods, what sort of countries do I want them to be produced from, because seeing I'm selling in the UK and people in America are always also buying it, I know their thinking and their preferences are quite high. So I thought about where would I be sourcing it from, where would I like it, and who are the people best placed to give me quality garments at an affordable price. And I thought about what sort of, suppliers will I want to go with, who would I want to work with. So I had a friend who is already in the business, and she guided me. She talked to me. I didn't talk to one friend. I talked to several people who I know have been in it for over 20 years. So based on the market research that I did, I decided to think about, what sort of brand will I create? What will I create to give me that standout identity in the UK, where you have existing brand like Phase 8, like River Island, Karen Millen. All these people are doing the sort of product I would like to, or sort of style that I like to get involved in. So, but I wanted to stand out. I wanted mine to be different. So I thought about, what would resonate with my target audience, and then my brand story, even in regards to the name, because the name of the business is called Fatbird. Fatbird, when people hear it, some of them will be like, wow. In fact, even when to register the company with Companies House here in the UK, they wouldn't register the company. They wouldn't register the company because they thought, oh, are you trying to be rude? You're using the name Fat, you know? And so they rejected my application at first. So I had to call them. So what's going on? So they said, you know, you have Fat. Is that really the name of your company? I said, yes. And then they said, is that really your name? I said, yes, you know. But the story behind Fatbird is my surname is Robin. My maiden name is Robin. My surname is Tubby. That is my married name. And then one day, my husband would just, you know, he's always joking, making fun. And then he said to me, you know, our name means like fat bird. You know, he said something like fat bird, but he meant F-A-T because Tubby in the UK is, you know, when they use it when somebody is a bit on the bigger side, a larger size. And then so he said, Fatbird. So I said, okay, that sounds like a very nice name. But then I thought about it, and then I thought about the urban slang word. I don't know if you've heard of fat. When an American says something is fat, you know, fat stands for pretty, hot, and terrific. You know, and I thought about it. Hang on, this is a way of merging the two names, like anastomizing all of them. So I thought about it, and I said, okay, you know, my brand, the aim and the goal is to make my clientele look hot, look fabulous, look terrific. And then that was where the name came, Fatbird. So that's my branding, and I've been, you know, leveraging digital marketing in terms of using social media techniques, using getting some influencers, collaborating with some influencers to just bring out my brand. I have a social media manager who is very good, who has been doing a lot of emailing marketing to reach my potential customers. So my potential customers are in the UK, are in the United States, and they're also in the EU. I've had some orders come from Nigeria. So my brand, the aim of it is to be worldwide. Yeah, I have an e-commerce platform, which is www.fatbird.co.uk. So if people want to visit it, you'll see that my products are quite unique.
All right, yeah.
So,
we'll definitely get to the point where, you know, you give us, give out your links and how people can access your products. But let us bring it back to what you do. Being a woman myself and, you know, very interested in fashion, I've noticed that there's been a lot of conversations along the lines of, you know, people who are on the bigger side, you understand, and, you know, how that they don't really get as much attention as every other size, and how that everybody else, it's easy for everybody else to find what they're looking for, you know, fashion pieces, and you know, they don't have that leisure or that liberty. They always have to either custom make what they need, or, you know, it just drops in one piece at a time, and it's always like a struggle. Have you thought about going into, you know, paying a little more attention to these set of individuals? And if you have, what has it been like, and how has it affected your business?
I agree with you, because this is a good question. What I found that's been the challenge, and but we're able to deal with it at the moment, is in terms of size inconsistency, because the plus size clothing, we face challenges with size and consistency across the brand, you know. So what I do with mine is to ensure that there's accurate sizing charts, you know, and on my website I do provide clear instructions to customers, so that they can see in the different countries that they live in, they have the sizing that's appropriate to them. In the UK, for example, when somebody is size 16, because my plus size starts from size 16, so you're size 16, I also put the equivalent size of it for the USA, and then I do the same thing for the EU, which is size 44. And I try to make sure that, because what I've seen in other brands is when somebody is big, they try to sew A-cuts kind of dress for them, which is sometimes not fitting, because the thing is one size fits all with people who are a plus size. They don't know that some plus size women have got bigger top and then, not so big bottom. And then some of them have got smaller tops and then apple or pear-shaped bottom. So we have to make sure that the fitting and design will fit well on people's bodies, and to make sure that whatever we buy, full attention is paid to the patterns, the way it is cut, and then the fabrics that we choose, we make sure that it's comfortable, it's stylish, it's trendy, and it will fit perfectly to the silhouette of our customers. I am very particular about it. I come from a line from my grandmother, my mother. They're very fashionable. Up till today, my mom is in her 70s, but my mom wears these clothes, So I have, I'm molded in fashion, and I love it when the woman looks nice, beautiful, sexy, trendy. I like when a woman feels comfortable in her skin, in whatever she's wearing, and is able to confidently flaunt it. So I make sure that I take my orders personally and ensure that whatever I get fits perfectly to the woman's taste and the woman's bodies. And make sure that when a woman wears the garment, they feel confident and they're able to work in their own skin. I'm all about body positivity. So that's why, for me, it's not about, I wouldn't really say my USP is competing with the big range. I want to do it in such a way that each woman who wears the garment will feel confident. They'll feel that it is created for their bodies. So that's how I've been able to overcome the challenges. I'm not desperate. I'm not selling in bulk, but I'm selling according to each person's taste. So if you want a unique wear, if you want something that is bespoke fashion for that one person, come to Fatbird. You will see that everything will fit to you perfectly. Whether you have small top and bigger bottom, or bigger bottom, top and smaller bottom, what we have will fit to your contours effectively. So that's what we do.
All right, Afi, much has been said, so much about research, especially with regards to understanding your market, what they want and how to serve them. And of course, we saw the back and forth, especially when it comes to registering your brand name. Now, talk to us about the fact that you're not desperate, because that was more of the last words you just said, that you're not desperate. So you're more of a B2C, a business to customer, than more of a business to business. You can understand that in business, quantity in terms of turnover is very important. So how are you able to cope with that, knowing the fact that some persons in your field might be doing the B2B and cashing out faster, whereas you're just waiting for one person to come in and take a size of what she wants, and then you prepare that outfit for the person. How are you able to cope with the turnover?
My business is not economies of scale. My business is dealing with people in a bespoke fashion. I am all about excelling and going over and beyond the customer's expectation. I want to exceed the customer's expectations, and I believe that what sells most is word of mouth. Yeah. So if I pay particular attention, since the inception of this business, I pay particular attention to what the customer needs, and through word of mouth, through my social media marketing and everything I've been doing, I have been selling like wildfire. So the way of working and the way of dealing with my customers sells itself. I'm not saying that I'm producing one size fits all. What I normally do is the wholesalers, the people who I source my items from, I pick them carefully, so that when I pick them carefully, what they do, it already speaks for themselves, such that when they send me, because I'm dealing with at least 20 different suppliers, and I've checked them, I've done my quality checks, and I make sure that everything that they bring will fit my customers perfectly. A customer may order something And then I ask the customer, because they can email me directly, they can send me WhatsApp directly. Some of them send me their pictures. So I look at them and I say to them, you know what, based on what you sent me, these are all the things that, I recommend things that they can look at. So doing that, I'm getting more customers because I'm personalizing it. I'm not just treating them one size fits all. I'm personalizing the sort of service I'm giving. And for me, that works.
All right, now talk to us.
I'm not treating customers like a number.
All right, now talk to us. Are you done?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right, now talk to us about the fact that, yes, you're good when it comes to being very detailed. Attention to details are very much, apt when it comes to your discussions or negotiations with your customers. But of course, there are some customers, you would agree with me, in business that are very difficult to deal with. Even when you tend to have met, their satisfaction in some areas, but they're still not satisfied. It looks like their taste is so high. So how are you able to cope with these kind of customers?
Like I said, my job is to exceed my customers' expectations. I was a customer service manager. I worked in the customer service for 10 years. So it was my bread and butter. I know that the customer, if I wouldn't be in business without the customer. So I do, as a matter of course, to see customers' feedback on a routine basis. So if the customer is difficult to satisfy, all I do is to find out what it is that we are missing, what it is that we have not provided the customer. Obviously, I can't be selling something for, say, 200 pounds. The customer is asking me to sell it for 10 pounds to them. That would not be satisfying anybody. That would be ridiculous. But if the customer came and said, oh, you know what, this thing that you sold to me, the top is too tight. Can we have it in a little, maybe loosen it a little? Yes, I can do that for the customer. That's why I'm saying I'm offering bespoke service. If they want it to be loosened, they will obviously, I will find out what it costs to loosen it, but then they will pay for the cost of doing that extra work. It's all about meeting the customer at the point of their need, because maybe they're asking for it to be loosened because they don't have a tailor around them, or because they feel that, okay, if it doesn't go well, I'll be responsible for it. Yes, I take that responsibility, but I will loosen it and they will pay for the work done.
All right.
I try to exceed their expectations by listening to them. If they're saying, like somebody said to me, I recently had a fashion launch last week, and then some of the products I put out were some, high block heel shoes, and they were blingy, and then after the launch, I asked for feedback of all the people who attended the fashion launch, and then one of the feedback I got was that the shoes were high and then it was blingy for them. That is their particular preference. My hope is to cater for as many people as possible. But what I'm going to do next, following the person's feedback, is to advertise more of my mid-range platform and low height shoes. That way, they know that I have them. I only brought those ones just to make sure that the tables look attractive and people will talk about it. It's not like I don't have those sort of flash shoes. So it's basically listening to customers, basically doing a lot of service, having reviews on my website, having reviews, giving people the ability to comment on the different platforms that my social media manager operates. So I'm through there, I just hear what people say and then I give them what they want.
All right. Thank you so much, Afi. Just before I let you go, because we're out of time already, if anybody wanted to get in contact with you, what are your social media handles, your email address, or your website, if you have one?
Yeah, my website is www.fatbird.co.uk. My Instagram handle is Fatbird Boutique, and then my Facebook handle is Fatbird. So I'd like people to go there, like it, follow me, and then, we'll have interactions and discussion together. And if people wanted to discuss about, how to, send their things to the UK to sell, or partner with me, or sort of like do things in the UK, I think they can just, send the email or send messages on those platforms, and I'll respond to them.
And that's Fatbird, spelled P-H-A-R-T, bird, right?
It's spelled P-H-A-T, P for Papa, H for Hotel, A for Alpha, T for Tango, B for Bravo, I for Indigo, R for Romeo, D for Delta.
All right, Fatbird, go ahead, follow on all social media platforms, send an email, send a DM, and she's open to work with you. Just have a proper conversation and you'll be on your way. Thank you so much, Afi, for coming on the show this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Debbie, for having me. I appreciate it. Hopefully speak to you soon.
Definitely, you're welcome. All right, it is still iBrand Daybreak. When we return from this quick timeout, of course, we will be delving into more healthy conversations as VitaBite comes up next. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.